Hey, everybody. It is Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And what do we do every Wednesday for the past 3.5 years at 7 o'clock? It is Whiskey Wednesday. I'm Joni Bates, founder and CEO of JB & Co. And I am here with my team. I've got Mark Tossler. We've got Brett Ray, who I think is working with babies right now. So he's going to be popping in and out. For some housekeeping, this is live. It is on our YouTube channel. It is also on our business Facebook page. And I am so very excited. It has been long overdue to have my sweet friend, Linda Kennedy, with us. And Linda Kennedy is the mortgage lady. Like, she is the girl boss. She is what I call when you need to get the red coat or to break the glass. You pick up the phone and you call Linda. And Linda is the person who is real and she gets it done. Thank you a zillion times for being here, Linda. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I need you to be my presenter every single time. That's amazing.
I will do that for you.
I love it. I think you missed your calling and you need to be on TV or radio. But I've said that from day one, right?
Let's not do that. we're not going to do that. No, that's just terrifying. That's just absolutely terrifying. Well, Linda's information is going across the bottom. She is the regional president for CrossCountry Mortgage, and her phone number is there. And she is probably one of the most approachable, real people that I have ever had the privilege of meeting within this business. So thank you. Thank you for being the person that I can call and I say to you, talk to me like a toddler. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. Explain this to me. And I think that to me is your best value base, is you take all the complicated things and you bring it down to a level where everyone can understand it.
Well, thank you. I definitely try to do that. I feel like my role in the mortgage industry is to educate the real estate agents and the customers and to make sure that they are educated throughout the process. And I have a saying, and it's just dumb it down. I'm going to dumb it down for you. And when I go to read the guidelines or have questions for my underwriters, I ask the same thing. Can you just dumb it down for me to make it simple? Absolutely.
Simple. And simple is key because, again, our folks don't do this all the time. You know, they're doing something maybe 3 times in their life. And there's usually something surrounding the motivation for this move or for this transition. We call it the big D's. Is it death, diapers, diamonds, deployment, downsizing? Something emotional is happening around the trigger. And so it's our job to really understand where our clients are at and not to add more stress. They've already got a trigger that's pushing them into this area. So we need to, like you said, dumb it down, make it simple for them. I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
Our goal for the month of March is to talk about, it's St. Patrick's Day, everything's green, spring is springing, and we talk about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that is just such a cliche. But for me and for our team, we keep talking about the fact that so many people, particularly in Cobb County, 62% of people in Cobb County own their home outright. That's a lot of people who have got a lot of money locked up in their primary residence. And I don't think folks really understand how to tap into that pot of gold. So I was hoping that today we could talk about that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow being someone's primary residence. So let's unpack that a little bit.
Absolutely. So I'm Linda Kennedy. I'm with CrossCountry Mortgage. I have been in the business this month 32 years. Mortgages are my passion. Absolutely love them. Love talking about them. What Joni's talking about is tapping into your equity and doing what we call a HELOC, or a home equity line of mortgage, or home equity line of credit. So if you hear the word HELOC, that's what it means. We also offer closed-end seconds and second mortgages. But the most popular thing that we're doing right now are the home equity lines of credit. And the reason why those are so popular right now is just because, like Joni said, there is so much equity in everyone's home. And if they do have an existing first mortgage, those first mortgage rates are at an unprecedented low. So the last thing you want to do is mess with your first mortgage. You want to try to tap into that equity, but keep that first mortgage and that very low interest rate in place. So what we do is we actually have home equity lines of credit available for primary residences, second homes, and for the first time, we can now offer home equity lines of credit for investment properties as well. So that's a really big deal. Yes,
Huge deal.
that's huge.
Huge.
So
Huge.
when we say open-ended, everybody's like, what does that mean? So that means this home equity line of credit is like a credit card. So you receive a max amount, and it's typically up to 89.9% of the value of your home. So what we do is we determine what the value of the home is going to be. We go up to 89.9% of that value, and then we subtract out any mortgages or liens that you have. And then that tells us the amount that your home equity line of credit can be for. So we call that an open-end home equity line of credit. So let's just say, for example, we do the math and you can do an equity line for up to $100,000. Our option is every month when the payment comes due, we're going to calculate the payment interest only. So whatever the principal balance is plus the rate is what your interest only payment's going to be. So this is very attractive because it's a low monthly payment. If you're trying to avoid putting down 20% on purchasing a home and avoid doing PMI, this is an attractive way that we can do some combo financing and avoid that private mortgage insurance. It's also a way to have a lower payment right now if you choose to do the interest only. When I mention the word interest only, a lot of people are like, I don't want to do that. And that's completely optional. When the statement comes due every month, just like a credit card, you can pay towards the interest or you can pay however much you want towards the principal and the interest.
Absolutely.
If,
And
if
y'all did this for me. Y'all,
yes, we did.
you're my, that we just, we were talking about, I'm a big investor and I was thinking, I could use, my real estate stuff for down payments, or I could look at my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And I called Linda and she got me set up. And that's what I'm using for my investments now.
It's so smart. It's tax deductible because it is considered a second mortgage. It is completely a tax write-off for you. So a lot of people come to me, they're paying off cars, credit cards, doing home improvements, and they're turning it into a tax deduction for them, depending on what tax bracket they're in. So with an open-ended home equity line of credit, you may say, hey, Linda, I need to get a $100,000 equity line, but I don't want to use it and I don't want to pay anything on it. So what we do is we open the initial draw for $100,000. Then the day after closing, you just pay that $100,000 back with that initial draw, and you're sitting there with an equity line with a zero balance and no payment. So you kind of dictate every month what you want your payment to be and how much money you want to take out. I explain it to people like you're going to get a checkbook, and you can use that checkbook to pay off your debt, to do home improvements, whatever you need to do. And as you pay that down, that credit becomes back available to you. And a lot of people don't want to pay just the interest only because the last thing we want to do is tap out all the equity in the home. So you would not believe the people that we're doing these for, that we are saving $3,000 and $4,000 a month for them, paying off high interest credit cards, high interest car loans, student loans. I mean, it's endless with what you can do with these. Or some people, maybe we're talking about doing a renovation loan or cashing out to do the renovations they need to their house. And with this option, it just makes more sense to go ahead and tap the equity in their home to do that.
So let's talk about the process. I know that we have our stats in regards to, 62% of folks in Cobb County own their home outright, but there's a lot of fear around the unknown. I mean, people don't know what they don't know. And when people start talking about kind of, messing with their home equity, they get real nervous. I mean, when I talk to folks about investing, I'm like, why don't you just I don't know, that doesn't sound like something I want to do. My mom did that 30 years ago. I'm like, okay, that was your mom 30 years ago. It's not the same. So how do you walk people through that mindset of understanding that it's not a catch. It's not a gotcha moment. It truly is like a credit card.
It really is. And a lot of people ask me, I don't want to tap into that equity. So this is an excellent question. You definitely have to be smart about it. You don't
Mhm.
want to take out $100,000 equity line and then go on a major vacation and a shopping spree. That makes no sense. But I ask them, I say, God forbid something happens tomorrow and you have to sell your house. What
Mhm.
happens? That equity line is just paid back, and that dollar amount is less the dollar amount you're going to walk away with at the table. So you're just using your equity now as a tax deduction and now to help you get through with lower payments or home improvements or whatever you need to do. So if you're going to take it out and you're going to tell me, I'm going to take that vacation I've been wanting to take forever, I would say that's not a smart thing to do. And I definitely coach customers on making sure they're using it wisely. But
Yes,
when
yes,
when you explain to them, like I said, God forbid if you lost your job tomorrow and had to sell your house, you still have 10% equity in your home minimum because we're only going to tap you out to 89.9%. So you still have that 10%. And when you sell your home, this is going to be paid off. So whatever
correct.
you use that money for, still yours, still your money. You just walk away with less at the table. So when you
Exactly.
explain it to them that way, they're like, well, I mean, what else is my equity doing for me? And it's really not.
It's
So,
not.
yeah,
And it's really just sitting there. And we met some sweet friends over at Calumet West. And how old is that neighborhood, Mark? The neighborhood is about, when was it constructed
The
ish?
late 80s, 86,
Late 80s.
87, 88.
So some folks, it's time for the kitchen, it's time for a bathroom, it's time for, might be needing to do some things to it, particularly if folks have been in there, 15, 20 years. Um, how long what's the process? They call you up and they say, okay, Linda, I saw Joni and Mark and Brett, and they were all talking about this HELOC thing, and I'm really interested. What's the pain and suffering to get through to the end where they actually can start spending that money?
it's super simple. Like you said, Joni, when you did it, you were an A plus customer and on top of everything. But even if you're not and you drag your feet a little bit, it's not going to take more than 30 days. What we do is we go ahead and get you to do the application. That way I can see what your credit scores are because everything is credit score and income driven. Now, we do have some of these loans that are available with no income or bank statement type programs. But the first thing I'm going to try to do is get you the absolute best program with the lowest rate and the lowest payment based on your scenario. So
Right.
they'll do an application and we're going to look at it just like we would a mortgage loan. We're going to look at their income and look at their job stability, all of that good stuff. And what I'll do is I'll have whoever referred the loan to me, if it was, Joni or whoever on your team, just to give me an idea of what you think the home will appraise for. That
Okay.
way I can go in and work up the numbers and give them an idea of how much they'll walk away with. But it's
That's
super
amazing.
simple, painless. If your loan is really good, in some cases, we get appraisal waivers. They
Mhm.
simply drive by the house and say, hey, it's standing, it's in good condition, and we don't even need to do an appraisal.
Yeah. Yeah. And then folks are able to, perhaps they want to age in place. They've been in the house for a while and maybe they need to take that bathroom on the main and make it more handicap accessible. They're able to do that and then actually stay in their home longer. Or maybe they need to move in an elderly parent, or they need to do something like that. And they're literally sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars for them to be able to improve their life. Or, like you said, pay things down. Holy cow, being able to take a high interest rate debt and pay that off. I mean, that's life changing.
It is life changing. And there's also, as you know, someone may come to me and say, look, I'm not going to be here more than a year, but I really want to update my master bedroom or master bathroom. So we look at it and say, okay, if it's $30,000 to update your master bathroom, Joni may tell you in a year, you're going to get $75,000 more for updating that master bathroom right now. So it makes sense. So not only are you doing that, you're improving the value of your home, but you get to enjoy that master bathroom for a year. So what we can do is show them a grid of what improvements look like cost wise versus what they have done to the value of your home. And as you both know, a kitchen, a master bath, those types of things improve the value almost 50% more than what they put into them. So we've had people just go ahead and do this, enjoy it, have the tax write off, and then increase the marketability of their home. So there's so many different ways that a home equity line of credit can work for you.
Huge. And I don't think, I'm speaking from a real estate perspective, that enough agents have these kind of strategic conversations with a lender partner like yourself in order to look at a strategy for our clients. Because if they have equity in their home and they're looking at jumping that lily pad in a year, 2 years, and they're going to do it anyways, they might as well do it in a way that is going to be not trendy, but trend forward as far as what are people looking for.
Absolutely.
So, talk to us, talk to our designers that we have, talk to Becca, talk to Linda, and bring it all together so that you can create this perfect package. It's all about net. You want the most net for your home. So by doing that and by using our vendor partners, we're able to do that for our clients.
And how smart is it now for a seller to say, I want to go ahead and do this now? Joni, what are you seeing that people are looking for in new homes? I've heard you do this with someone on the phone. You're like, listen, don't put the blue carpet in. I know what my buyers are looking for. Let me tell you what to kind of trend towards so that when I get ready to sell your house, this is going to be something that I can market showing, hey, this house has this newly updated kitchen or this newly updated bath or this new back porch. So you as realtors, they're in the hot seat with you, telling them what type of repairs are going to get them the best bang for their buck when they go to sell.
Exactly. And simple things like outdoor spaces. Folks are really, because of COVID, folks were getting outside. They really wanted to be outside. And so now when people are looking at homes, they want that fire pit. They want a patio. They might want an outdoor kitchen in higher end homes. So by you doing that with your HELOC, getting your backyard, buttoned up, it can absolutely make the hugest difference in the marketability of homes.
Now, we also offer what's called an Equity Express product.
Oh, yeah,
and this is a loan that we offer that's anywhere from $5,000 to $400,000. And this is a loan that they submit just like a credit card. It's an instant approval. And when they get the approval, they can click on the different options and the different dollar amount that they want. And that loan, we can actually get them their funds in as little as 5 days. So that's that's the Equity Express option that we're just rolling out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's called, I have not heard of that one.
We just got it. Yep. So it's the Equity Express option. If someone's interested in that, what I do is just send them my link. They fill it out. And we've had people literally get their funds within 5 days on this one. And I'll tell you what a lot of agents are doing or talking about doing as I'm rolling this out is, let's say, for instance, you've got a seller who just maybe needs to spend $15,000 to fix something or to make it more marketable.
Fix the driveway.
Yes, fix the driveway. We do this Equity Express real quick. There's no prepayment penalty, and it's just marked onto the back. So, this could potentially get people, spend 10 or 15,000 and market the house for 30 or 45,000 more. So it's a great product.
Okay, so this is a game changer. We're going to need all the documentation on this one, because when folks are getting ready to sell their home, sometimes they don't have that $12,000 to get it painted. An interior painting can be very expensive. And again, they're like, why would I do this? I'm not going to live here. But what we try to get across to them is paint colors are polarizing. Different kind of floor colors are polarizing. You don't want to walk into a home and immediately get turned off. Everything needs to be, we like to call it white boxed. You want someone to be able to picture themselves and their things, not your things. And
absolutely.
And it can be costly. But if we can do that and include that into our listing presentation, flip them over to you, get that done, and then in a very short amount of time, pretty much the exact same amount of time it takes to get a home listed. That's fantastic, honey. Wow.
It is fabulous product.
So let's talk about my favorite thing, investors. When we're talking about using a HELOC on your home in order to jump into the world of investing, I'm always trying to keep it local. And so in Cobb County, we have a serious lack of rentals. We have a serious lack of first-time homes and a lack of quality downsize environment. People are having to leave the county in order to downsize. That's not cool. Cobb County is fantastic. let's talk about what someone can do if they're starting to get interested into the investor realm using their HELOC or possibly any other programs you have that might benefit someone who's looking at dipping their toe into investing.
So just like you said, Joni, you personally did your home equity line of credit to have the down payment or to even pay cash for the properties that you were interested in. The number one thing that I hear right now is people come to me, hey, I found this property. It's not in the best condition, so it's probably not going to be able to get traditional type financing. So my first suggestion is let's see what type of equity you have that we can tap into so that you can purchase it with cash, first of all, so that you're a cash buyer.
Yeah.
Second of all, so we're not looking at the property condition, but that's the best way to be able to start your investment portfolio is to tap into your existing equity on your primary house to put you into the hot seat for the new purchase. So we do that quite a bit. And then we also offer what's called the debt service coverage ratio loan. And I know you and I have talked about this before.
I do love that.
It's a true, no questions asked investment loan. So the borrower puts down anywhere from 10 to 25%. As long as it's an investment property, we do not ask any questions. The only requirement on the loan is that the rent is $1 more than what the payment's going to be. So when we have the appraiser do the rent comps, or we pull, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, not, but it's called Air D&D, and I'll send that to you. And what we do is we pull it up, and it gives us a lot of information on what a rental property would rent for, either short term or long term. And we can do both on this particular product. So as long as, let's say, for example, the payment's going to be $1,000 on this investment property, and the rent is going to be for $1,001, then we're covered on our debt service coverage ratio. So it qualifies for the DSCR loan. We can do up to 15 loans for one person on this particular program. And we can also do a cash out refinance on this program. So I have a lot of investors that own their investment properties free and clear, and they're coming to me and cashing out up to 75% to get that cash to either rehab them or to pay cash for the new properties.
For the next
So
one.
it's a phenomenal product.
So what just blew my mind is 15.
Oh, yeah.
15.
Yeah. And we could probably go higher if you're really strong and your credit's great and you have a history of being a landlord. We can probably go higher on the number of properties. We have people that are stacking up 5 and 6 properties. We had a borrower the other day we closed 3 in one day for. They're just building up their portfolio because, as you said, there is a shortage of rental homes right now. So literally the minute they close on these properties, they already have lease agreements to rent them back out.
Oh, like the same day. I mean, you can easily just put out there that you've got something coming, and you've experienced this as an investor yourself, Linda. You end up having a list of folks who are ready to jump into your property and you haven't closed on it yet.
100% yes. And the minute a property becomes available, I have people begging me to come to my door to bring me cash to reserve it. So I know there's an extreme shortage out there for the rental portfolio. And this is a way for real estate agents or anybody that does not claim their income for them to be able to now purchase these investment properties with no questions asked.
See, that next level. And when we talk about using your home in a smart way, your primary residence, if you've been there over 5 years, you've got equity. And if you're looking at getting out of the stock market, getting into, sometimes it's trending a little too much. I mean, you got to do your work. The idea that being a landlord or getting into this investment thing is passive income is a joke. It is not passive. You need to work at it. So don't let that fool you. But the fact that you can use your primary residence and your investment properties as a bank, that I think people need to let that sink in, that's generational wealth. That's changing the trajectory of an entire generation. And it's very exciting. It's very cool is just to be able to give that message to people that you don't have to be here. You can absolutely do a few things, learn a little bit, and level up.
And what is amazing to me is if you paid $1 above what you initially paid to the IRS. So if you filed your taxes at the end of the year and owed anything to the IRS, you need an investment property. it is a game changer for you. It will change your income bracket, your tax bracket. And that is the biggest thing that most investors don't realize, is what it does for you at the end of the year when those taxes come due.
Absolutely. When I first started doing investment properties, they started saying, well, we need to depreciate that. And I'm like, what?
And you're like, yes, please.
Like, wait a minute. Do that again. And then I bought 2 more and I was like, do that again. So it is not, I think a lot of people think that we're being shady or in some way that we're cheating a system. No, it is all about working smarter, not harder. And truly, Linda, by saying that just one investment property can take away your liability to the government.
100%. And it's not being shady. The IRS is actually who set the depreciation value per year. So it's not being shady. It's an asset that truly depreciates for the IRS.
Yeah. Yes.
So
I love this conversation. I need to have you back. We have just scratched the surface in regards to the amazingness that is you. Please come back. Is there anything?
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you want folks to know right now in regards to, I mean, the CPI came out yesterday. We didn't love those numbers. We know that the 10-year Treasury note, we need it to go up so that interest rates can come down. It ain't happening. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on what's happening?
So everybody says, Linda, is it the right time to buy real estate? I don't care what rates are doing. There is no wrong time to buy real estate. Amen. And I give them a challenge. I said, okay, think of any home you can think of in your childhood that you absolutely adored this home. And I want you to try to think what that house was valued at when you were a child. Yeah. Now, I want you to Google that address today. So regardless of what rates were then and what rates are now, look at the appreciation that house brought in. So regardless of what your payment was, look at what it's valued at today. So there is no wrong time to buy real estate. And any smart investor or smart person that deals with real estate every day knows that. So if we're watching rates, we're watching the wrong thing. And like you said, all of the Ds are forcing people to move up, downsize. I do not think rates are going to change much until probably July or August. We are not going to see a major dip in interest rates. And honestly, for all of us, I hope that we don't. I hope that we see it go down a little bit. But as you know, if rates are down in the 2s and 3s, those people are not getting rid of those homes. So it's a nightmare for you. It's a nightmare for us. And the first time I locked somebody at 1.99 on a 15-year fixed, I said, we are in trouble because they are never going to let that house go unless one of the Ds happens. So we need rates back down at a healthy 4.5% to 5%. I think that's a healthy market. I think that helps with affordability. But I don't think we're going to see rates being at 6.5 today and at 4.5 in a week. I don't think we're going to see that. And we've locked some loans in this week around 5.99 on a 30-year fixed FHA. So that's good.
That's real
and
good.
I like that it's not a major announcement anymore. Hey, rates have went down a little bit. They're letting them gradually go down, and everybody's not making such a big deal out of it. So I think that's a good thing too.
Yeah. But extremes are not good in our business. Any kind of extreme makes folks make poor decisions.
100%. Yes.
And I think that, like you said, creating a balanced environment is key to success. And to be quite honest with you, and I know you've seen this, Linda, I know we've certainly seen it in our business. When folks come into real estate or lending in a real upswing, they don't make it. Because when it starts to come back down, you have to work. I mean,
yes.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think I've said from day one, only the strong will survive. And when I talk to my loan officers and I coach them, I'm like, the number one survival in this market is no matter what, save, save, save. Because of the 32 years I've been doing this, I've seen 5 ups and downs. This is the worst that I've ever seen that's lasted for the longest. So many people are getting second jobs and doing whatever they have to survive. But the people that this is their 5th time going through it, we knew we had to have, I always coach 6 months, 12 months if you can, but literally people have had to have 24 months worth of reserves to survive this. So when the market does come back, I tell everybody, please try to save 50% of their paycheck, put it up, pretend like it's not there, buy some rental property so you can depreciate your taxes and pay less to the IRS and more to yourself. But everyone that I've sat down, to dinner with that has been multimillionaires, I'm like, so tell me where you invest your money. What do you do? And the answer time and time again is buy real estate. Don't play the stock market. Don't put it here. Don't put it there. 100% buy real estate. Be diversified, of course. Don't have it all in real estate, but real estate is where it's at. So everybody that's an agent or in the mortgage industry right now, we are in the hot seats, and it's all about just educating and getting the right word and the right training out to everyone to let them know what's really going on.
No, and I so appreciate you for bringing it literally to us so that we can improve ourselves and speak intelligently. I mean, we make hundreds of phone calls a week. And being able to have this kind of knowledge to be able to pass it on. And then we just barely scratch it, just enough to say, hey, call Linda. And there you are. So it's perfect. It's perfect.
I do want to say CrossCountry is the #1 lender in the nation right now. 1 out of every 44 loans that closes, we are the lender on. I have never worked at a company where we have so many products. So I would love to come on whenever. You just tell me what you're hearing in the market and what product you want to touch on so we can talk about it. We are the #1 lender in the nation right now for non-QM loans. So the bank statement loans, the DSCR loans, the 1099, the asset depletion, all of those products, we are the #1 lender in the nation right now. Because
that's amazing.
It is amazing. And everything's in-house, our own appraisers, our own underwriters, our own closers. So when you hear the word broker, we're not brokering these out. These are all right here within our own office with our own people. So it's huge. But the different products that we offer will absolutely blow you away. And Joni, as you know, we're one of the only few lenders that do not have a minimum credit score on FHA or VA.
You do not.
So we're doing, we've done a couple of veterans loans in the last couple of months down to the 400s, which is really amazing.
It is.
And then
you literally make dreams come true. You literally, like when I talk about the break the glass moments and get the red coat, like that, you would literally are in my SOP. Call Linda.
Thank you. It really makes you feel good at the end of the day when you know we've really made a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah, you do. You do. Thank you, honey. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for coming alongside us through the ups and the downs. We absolutely love you.
Brett, I see you brought a little helper.
She disappeared pretty quickly.
Okay. So, she's smart, huh?
She's making her way back. So
yeah, it's her birthday.
She'll be 1 tomorrow.
Oh, she'll be 3?
1.
Oh, she'll be 1. Don't you have a 3-year-old also?
I have a 5-year-old and a
5-year-old. Wow. So Joni, did anybody have any questions?
So we had, it's funny. We had some folks pop in and then you literally answered it. Like everyone was pretty much interested in knowing, like, how do I do this? And they're saying, thank you for the number. So girl, your phone's going to start blowing up. Sorry.
I love it.
So we are good.
Well,
Mark, do you have
ask you one?
There you go. Yes, Brett.
Can you combine like VA benefits, your pretty much what you're allowed to spend? So if I have $750, I can go buy another house as an investment. But can I use my HELOC to do that?
So give me an example.
So if I have $750,000 worth of benefits to use through the VA, I have a house now, and then if I wanted to go buy, and then I could keep that VA rate. So
VA, of course, will only allow for a primary residence.
Mm-hmm.
So if you currently have a VA loan on your primary residence, we can do the HELOC, of course, behind the first mortgage of being a VA loan. So you would
Right.
tap out your equity, but any type of investment, we couldn't have anything to do with VA on it.
Okay, I got you.
Now, yes, we can do some VA investment refinances, but that's for existing veterans who converted a primary into an investment property. So we can
Now,
do those refinances.
So that's a solution. So I could switch my primary over to a rental.
Absolutely, yes. Keep that VA loan, convert that to a rental, and then yes, you can have another VA loan on a primary residence and have another VA loan on a different property. It's called bonus entitlement, and we can definitely do that. Yes. We can do VA loans 0 down and up to $5 million on new construction as well.
Right.
Yeah. So we definitely have veterans that exit their primary residence, keep that VA loan, go get another property with a VA loan 100%. And we just tap into what their bonus entitlement is. And I have a calculation worksheet to work that up for you.
That's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That is so
We love
good.
our veterans.
Love it. Love it. Mark, do you have any questions?
No, kind of like you said earlier, she answered everything that I was going to ask. It was a great conversation.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's do it again sometime soon, guys.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Bye,
Bye.
Thank
guys.
y'all. Bye.